Dave, welcome to the podcast. We're recording live,
Are you
and
okay? Are you
Bright
sure?
and Harrison on Wednesday
This is
night. Man, it's been
one.
last week was just crazy. We I couldn't I put the wrong email address in. Like
Yeah.
last week was stressful for a lot of reasons, work related, everything related, and so then last week when we recorded the entire thing and then it didn't get recorded, like that's a low point. I mean, when we did that to Brennan, yeah, I mean it's Brennan, but like
But wasn't it? You at least caught some of it somehow,
for Brennan,
But
yeah, I
this one, then
realized
we
it and I
traded,
hit record like midway, yeah. But
and then
this
I
was
don't
like
know.
we
There were some good things I think flow wise that when we were doing it for the first time, but I screwed the PowerPoint up thing twice. So we could have recorded four times, and I still wouldn't have got that right.
we because we redid it, they got the gist of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So our apologies. After 5 seasons, we're still amateurs at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, all right, Dave. Well, let's kick off with Dave Miller's Miller Time Team of the Week.
This one pains me because for about, I don't know, well, actually, I did actually go to bed because I started my day at six something this time, drove to Evansville to start, an hour earlier, to get there by 9 a.m. their time, worked 11 hours, whatever. I was pretty beat. And so I was sitting there looking and I think it was after the pick six. I'm like, it's not worth paying attention. I didn't watch any of it. I was just checking the score. Went to bed and woke up at midnight, checked it, and I was like, oh, for pity's sake. I was just because I was really, there's a certain person that possibly saved their season, at least had a chance at it. And that person is Brian, and he probably deserves it more than you.
For a lot of reasons.
But I feel like anytime you score 12 points in, I don't even, was it how many minutes?
Rennie says 8 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I was following and they weren't really giving Hunt the ball. He had a goal line stuff. I did see that like early in the game, and they're like, well, they probably won't do that again because
Yeah.
I think then, but yeah, I mean, you
Well,
needed
yeah.
you needed a certain thing to happen. It hadn't happened the entire weekend until the last freaking plays of the game, and then you get exactly what you needed. Even though I hate your team and I think you're, smoke and mirrors, but the smoke and mirrors are starting to be holding up.
It's a thing of beauty, Dave. I don't really know what to say about it other than, I mean, we talked about it when I played Adam 2 weeks ago. Like when you're watching like the unthinkable happen, like they had to get the ball down at the goal line twice. They need to score, right? Like everything that could go my way ended up
Yeah,
going my way because he wasn't on the field. I mean, Pacheco was being really effective, like in open field runs, and like he just isn't on the field very much.
yeah,
He's almost non-existent in the pass game, and so like there's just now and then. What also helped was like early on in the game, even though he got stuffed at the goal line, like he picked up just enough yards to make it so that like that the two touchdowns mattered, right? It was like because
yeah,
you know 12 wouldn't have been enough. He needed the
yeah, or even
like
two less than 1 yard or less than 5 yard runs wouldn't have been enough.
yeah. So all those things.
So yeah,
So I'm in a hotel room, but not any hotel room. My family, Katie and I and the boys over fall break went to Asheville, North Carolina for just like 2 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and came back Tuesday night, last night. And so there's this place called Ridgecrest out there, and it's owned by Lifeway Christian Publishing Company that does like Bible studies and, life group stuff and books and everything. They have this big like conference center. And so pastors can stay at this big complex for a discounted rate. All right. And it's just like a hotel. I mean, it looks just like a hotel, but there's no TVs in the thing. And so we get in there and Katie's like, there's no TV. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, because it's like for pastors retreats and stuff like that.
Retreat, solitude, all that good stuff.
Yeah. It's like,
Christian-y stuff.
Yeah. It's like, there's no TVs. And, my boys are like giving me the line from Bad Boys 2. If you're a Bad Boys 2 fan, you'd know this, but they're like, well, how much do the good pools cost? That's what they say in Bad Boys 2. So it's like, how much do the real hotels cost? Like, I mean, how much are we saving here? So Sunday night football and Monday night football, I watched on my phone, like laying in bed. So with spotty cell phone service. So it wasn't ideal, but it was good enough to like, get the job done. And so I was able to watch. It was hard for me to follow like Sunday and Monday, or especially Sunday, because we were traveling Sunday morning and then we were out like doing stuff Sunday. So I didn't really watch any football. I luckily didn't get to watch a single snap of the Bengals game. So
yeah, I really think Brian deserves it, and he deserves it up until when you did what you did. Because I don't know. I imagine because it ended 114 to 100 that Brian had what he needed before Hunt did those two things, which kind of surprises me, because like if you're getting a bunch of rushing touchdowns from Kansas City, then how did Mahomes end up with enough points?
Well, Mahomes had some runs and he had a lot of passing yards, and then they still didn't even get the win.
They didn't go to Schuster.
Yeah.
Or else Adam would have benefited.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to end up being closer, that match, and Brian pulled it out. But yeah, you get the award as much as I hate it.
Well, I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you very much. And then so that leads us to our other award. That's the Harrison Hillbilly of the Week. Let me just ask you a question, Dave. What would you consider worse? A guy not playing 2 spots and getting zeros from them, or actually putting in guys that took snaps, played, and then got zeros from them? So let's say that like you pull an Ed, where it's like you play 2 guys. Right? Yeah, hypothetical. You play 2 guys, but those 2 guys aren't in the game. And so the whole game, that they're not getting any points, and you just pulled a Ed and, didn't take them out of your lineup. Or you put 2 guys who actually play football and they're on the field, but they don't get any points. Which is worse?
Say you even research a little bit and pick up a guy because you think that guy's going to end up getting more touches than he normally does because a couple other guys are out.
Yeah.
But instead, the guy you picked gets nothing, and some guy named Flonase that I'd never heard of gets all the catches.
Yeah. Oh, Dave, that's a tough beat, bro. Especially when, you took the hit for Drake May, so he gets, even though they get the win, he gets not a whole lot of points. I mean, you would have done better with Daniels.
Yeah.
And then
not much.
Yeah, not much. I mean, it's marginal, but when you're talking about, trying to win games, like every single one of those points matters. And then
so that would have been 7. And then if the 2 zeros,
you could have played Ridley.
Yeah, Ridley, and I had been up until he had been sucking the whole year, and he was hurt too. It wasn't like he was just because he was sucking. He didn't practice all week, and so I'm like, he's been stinking. Yeah. He's been dropping balls. He's been not getting points, and he's hurt. I'm like, he's probably going to get hurt in the first quarter and not play. I'm going to be smarter than the room. I'm going to pick up this Tolbert guy, and that backfired. I think I have a theory.
And they scored 37 points. How's he not get the football?
Yeah, I know. I think Andy somehow, unbeknownst to even himself, has a force ghost of immaculately peppered chicken.
Yeah.
And that entity just does things that he needs. Oh, your quarterback's hurt? You want to pick somebody up that gets 37 points? Sure, go ahead. Oh, you want your opponent to have 2 guys to get zeros?
But you got Andy.
Done.
You got Andy in a week where he doesn't score 100.
Yeah. but his little, Force Ghost fairy of chicken fairy that
Well,
just does whatever he needs.
so,
But the
because
thing
this,
is, and you want people to, you want to beat people and have them still like you because you make good chicken. Done.
yeah,
I still like Andy,
still
and I
like
don't know
Andy.
why, other than
Um,
the chicken.
well, so that this segment, the awards, doesn't go a full 20 minutes, let's
Yeah,
recap. Because I pulled off a Monday Night Miracle, you've given the team
yeah.
of the week to me. Thank you very much, Dave. And for playing two guys who were actually on the football field for lots of the game, and both of them caught 0 passes on one target. I looked it up just for fun. Both of them had one target, and both of them caught 0 passes for 0 yards. So you got 0 points out of two players who played football. That's tough to do. You know what I mean?
Yay.
Like,
This is exactly what I didn't want to happen, is to have me give you an award and you give me an award. You know,
well, it doesn't happen very often, so we got to relish. Cheers, Dave.
okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So before we move on, we're going to talk about the rest of the. We're going to talk about the rest of the matchups, but I don't know if anybody noticed, but I got all of them right again, so that's 12 in a row, and you got two of them right again, so that's 4 out of 12 for you over the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks, Dave. Congratulations.
I'm really lighting on fire there. Yeah. I told you in a text that I have a little starting a jar that says chicken for a jar, because
You
might as
got
well
that?
start saving up money
Yeah.
because it's going to be
Well,
tough
I've
to
never
come
had it
back at this
before.
point.
I've never had it before, but when we go to the tavern, it was like it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna just say, "Give me the Lee," which means I hold chicken. So
Fair enough.
yeah, yeah, it'll be fun. So um, now let's talk. We had some matchups. We have another team that maybe you could have given it to. High Points. Rennie coming off the mat,
Yeah.
a team we thought was dead, and he scores 124 up against Lee's 97. 2 weeks in a row where Lee's scored good, would have beat other teams, and yet comes
Yeah.
up short. So, what'd you think
Yeah,
about?
I think even Rennie would agree that either you or Brian would get it over him, especially you. So for the way things went down, but yeah, he surely deserving if those two other things didn't happen. Um,
Man,
and
what
I
a
again,
he picked up. He picked
I
up Stroud. I'd like to have
thought
him
his
back.
draft was horrible. He just keeps getting wins, and those wins are going to be like as we go farther in the season. Those wins, you don't lose them,
Yeah.
and so they're
Well,
still there. And you only need what 7 sometimes wins to make the playoffs. So
let me tell you that when you get 18 from your kicker, 36 from your quarterback, and then another 15 from your tight end, that's a pretty good score. And then everybody else
yeah,
just kind of fills in. So big scores out of 3 spots.
yeah,
I
I don't
mean,
really know. Lee could have, Herbert. That was a big difference. The quarterback spot,
yeah.
he doubled him pretty much, and that was not quite the difference, but
Yeah.
it
Well,
definitely was a big chunk of it.
you mentioned it because Brian, well deserving of the team of the week, and in most leagues would have got it because he's a good guy and I'm a jerk. But I appreciate the love, Dave. Adam gets 30 from Fields and comes up short. I mean, they pushed
Yeah,
at quarterback, but then Brian just and it's not like Adam didn't have. I mean, sure, Smith Schuster because it was the Monday night game. You know what I mean? And but I mean, really good scores from everybody else. He got to that magic 100 score, but you know, for Adam, it's been a little bit of both underperforming, like lower scores, and then also who he's played. You know what I mean? Like he's
yeah,
gone up against some guys that like on weeks where he's scored well, he's just happened to play guys that scored better.
yeah, and he's had a really good bench. He doesn't have a team full of bad people. He
No.
just hasn't put together enough to get very many wins. Do you think there's a chance back onto the supernatural entities of fantasy? You talk about the fantasy gods sometimes, and if they exist, then the fantasy devils exist too. And I think we've alluded in years past that maybe Adam might have, been a part of something sort of transaction. Do you think
Oh.
there's a chance that recently he's like started a payment plan to get his fantasy soul back, and that has
Oh,
cost
I
him
see.
some of
I
these
see what you're saying.
things?
So
Yeah,
like over like the first 20 seasons, maybe Adam made a deal where he was
Yeah.
like, hey, my fantasy soul for just
Yeah.
unbelievable, you know what I mean? And now we're
Yeah, but
seeing that rant that
possibly,
yeah,
yeah, he's
maybe they're in
reconsidered and
negotiations.
he found a devil that was worth, that was willing to deal with him, you know.
Yeah,
I
could be,
whereas
could
I
be.
feel like Rennie, he's befriended like sort of a fantasy devil in training, like to kind of a
Mm,
lower rung, and they
yeah,
just sit on his back porch and smoke cigars, and then he
I
just
see.
throws. He's like, you have a crappy team, not on my watch.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so Rennie's kind of like Keanu Reeves, and he's got somebody like Al Pacino just kind of whispering in his ear a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. They're just hanging out, and instead of
Yeah,
he didn't have to sell his soul
yeah.
because he's the guy. This little fantasy youngling just does things for him because he lets him hang out with him on his porch and stare at the river.
I understand. Yeah.
That's the only explanation I can think of. Nothing else makes
Well,
sense.
yeah, you kind of jumped ahead because we'll get to that in just a second because I want to hear a little bit more about this and let's talk about Ed with a big win, 117 over Call Me Ratty 75. So, Josh, not putting up much of a fight. Josh is very Jekyll and Hyde, which could lead to some of the picks that we have because he's an every other week kind of guy. Like it's like
Yeah, that's true.
70s,
That's
100s,
true.
70s, 100s. So he scored 70 this week, which means next week,
Somebody might be hoping for like something to stay the same for at least 1 week. Somebody
oh,
out there might
somebody,
be.
as not
Yeah,
saying who, but
somebody perchance, yes.
yeah, okay. But Ed, man, he is high in our power rankings. He is high in
Yeah.
the standings. He's doing great. And this is a great team that Brian put together.
Yeah, but that's what we keep saying, but if you read
Ed
my little
is,
write-up, there's an explanation of this was Ed's plan.
yeah.
This inexplicable, I want a certain position. I don't necessarily care who it is because I'm not there to pick it, but whoever the best available of this position is when the time comes, that's what I want. And so Brian just followed it, and
So you're giving Ed
well,
a lot of
doggone
credit
it,
for that.
it worked. And he's only made a couple transactions. Now, one of those transactions could be end up being the transaction of the year. Maybe not, but has a chance of being when you pick up a guy that wasn't drafted and he's the number 7 wide receiver at all of football in
Yeah.
fantasy football anyway. That's a pretty good move, and that guy's stabilized his team. You know, Anybody could have had him at any point as a throwaway 16th or 15th round pick, and
And
nobody picked him.
remind us of who that is again.
I can't say his name. Johnson
Quint.
Quentin Quentin.
I think
Is
it's
that it?
just
How do you say
Quentin.
it?
Let's just call it
Quentin.
Quentin. Just
Quentin
say Quentin.
Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like a random
Now
receiver on the
Lee
Chargers.
or Ed, sorry about that. Ed did not get great scores from his wide receivers this week, but he got points everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean Baker's been money, Taylor's been money. Defense above 10 is always good. Yeah, he just, his plan worked. Maybe he shouldn't, send Brian. Brian won't do it next year. I guarantee it, because it cost him a season.
Maybe the match, you never know what the matchup of the week's going to be, and obviously you could talk about mine and Junior's just because of like what was on the line, but like just as much so for Travis being undefeated,
Yeah.
going up against Brennan, and it being 105 to 108, and it coming down to really Sunday Night Football, I think was the big one for that one, right? Like how many points Josh Allen got, and they both had, I think maybe they both had people going. If not, it was just watching to see how many he would get from Allen, and that was a great matchup, and Travis ends up on top.
Yeah.
But man, Brennan put up a lot of points, and
Yeah, he should have. That's something where how does Travis just get exactly what he needs?
yeah,
And he picked up a guy, a random running back that ended up having the most points in all running backs, and he had him on his bench. Don't need those.
yeah,
Like, I don't need to make that move and have it work. All the rest of the stuff's going to work out. Do you
Well,
remember? Do you remember what year he first changed his name to have something to do with flex?
it's been 3 seasons now. Oh no! Oh, you're talking
When
Travis. You're talking Travis. I was
yes,
thinking Junior.
yeah,
Oh
no.
man, it's been flex for a while now. We'd have to go back in the annals of
So
history.
yeah, you'd have to go back to 2012 when he was Summer Shandy.
Okay,
Since then, since he
2013.
changed it to something to do with flex, he's won 93 regular season games, which is a lot,
Not that
you
you're
know.
counting or doing any
No, I
research.
wouldn't. I'm not counting at all. So, is it possible that he has been cursed by some weird flex gypsy, fantasy flex gypsy, to where, you know, it cost him, the preoccupation with
He
changing with
he's
one,
going to be
with
obsessed with flex,
yes,
but
but he'll
because
get
he
a lot of
owns it, he's
wins,
going to win.
but he can't shake this ever,
He's never satisfied.
everlasting need to change the secular or the sacred entity that is Harrison Hill,
I've
Hillbilly
been saying
Harrison
this from the
settings.
very beginning. If I'm Travis from 2013 on, dude, I don't want to change a thing because I'm so dang successful.
Yeah, yeah. So I just think he he's been I just picture him at night, just, oh, flex. Where's the flex?
All
Why don't
right.
we have flex? And just
So
stewing
so
over it.
has he been burdened with the gift of success but not satisfaction?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Every season is a lost season for him, even when he wins, and
Because there's no flex spot.
because there's no flex spot. That's
Okay.
just a theory I
Yeah.
have,
All
out
right.
there. So
So Andy was able to carry the boats. It really wasn't close.
no,
And that is helped by a guy who starts two guys that
but
don't score.
it was most of the weekend. I was projected
Yeah.
again most of the weekend to win, and then it just all went down.
And then if I'm going to say anything about my matchup with Junior, all right, I'm going to look into Junior. I love you, brother. But if you are a faithful podcast watcher, which I know you are, all right, we're at the 26-minute mark. So whether you make this first half or second half of your drive home, I'm not sure. But let me just tell you, what's the cardinal rule? Score 100 points. Score 100 points, Junior, and good things happen. You didn't score him 99.1, and that's really where I think that he fell short. If he would have just got,
Oh, is that what it? Okay.
yeah, if he just got to 100, followed my advice. I've got faithful fantasy advice every week, Dave. I just tell people score 100
Why don't you
points.
maybe tell that to Adam and Brennan,
Oh,
because they
okay.
scored
Well,
100 and didn't win.
oh, well, okay. Well, so I mean, just one of the reasons, one of the many, but so that's a little recap. So you've kind of touched on it, and you kind of alluded to it in a message. So like, I'm interested to hear when things like what happened for me on Monday night happen. You said you have a theory about things like this. So
Well, that's what, yeah. I mean, well, that's what I was getting at. I think that there's, we tease the fantasy gods, but, you can't rule out that there are some fantasy entities out there, that do things for people, whether unbeknownst to them. Because I feel like, I feel like you don't, because you work in the clergy kind of field, you stay away from the fantasy gods and the fantasy devils. But because you're so, self-centered about you, everything's about you, that you don't even see the problems that might happen with the
oh,
choices that you make. It's
okay.
like you somehow you walk up to a stack of needles, and you pull out a piece of hay, and you don't even know that there's needles there, and put them in your lineup, and they do good things. Whereas me, I would like get all kind of blood because I know the needles are there because I'm paying attention to things besides myself. You
Mm,
don't. So I think
I
that's
got
where
you.
you're going okay, because all Kevin thinks about is Kevin's world, and you're just like, oh, look, there's some hay in there. You
Hey,
don't even know
what?
that there's a whole stack of needles to pull it in.
So let me just
You think I might be onto something?
maybe. It sounds like you're a little bitter because I played Michael Carter and Kareem Hunt, two guys that everybody in fantasy football would say do not start in your lineup, and one of them got 17 points and one of them got 13 points. It sounds like you're bitter about that.
Which was what, within 3 points of what you actually, needed from them.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
people start 2 people and they
Well,
get zeros.
Dave, I don't know if you've seen my team or not, but there's
Yeah,
not a
it's
whole
starting to
lot.
become less red.
It
There's less red going on.
slowly. Not all of my plays work out. I thought I would beat the system. Eagles playing Denver, won't play them. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. And so let me get real cute. I'll play the Giants defense, who the Giants had a good game the week before. So of course New Orleans is going to drop 26 on their head.
Yeah.
That didn't work out for me. I
No,
could have
it
played
didn't.
Broncos, and this thing would have been over before we ever got to Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, not all the way over, but it would have been easier. So I don't know. I feel like that I'm in a position where every week I just so happen, like, there's lots of guys that are like, wish I would have started this guy. Like, Adam's got 15 good players, and every week he's trying to figure out which one of them to play, and he ends up leaving points on his bench. You know the thing that you can't accuse me of any week this season, Dave?
What's that?
Points on my bench. Defense is the only place, because everybody else has got a 0 because they're either suspended or they're hurt or they're on
Yeah,
IR.
that's true.
Like, that's the thing that happens. So, like, I'm just putting out 9 guys that I hope that score points and just praying it works. And
Yeah.
somehow I've picked up. Now, here's the thing. I'll say this. Since the moment I put Daniel Jones in my lineup, he's been mediocre compared to where he was to begin the season. And I'm like waiting for that 37-point explosion from him. But I'm really happy with like wide receiver spot, or like before Addison came back, and then like running back, I can't complain. Like those guys, like I put guys in and they score touchdowns, which is like Thurman or I don't know, the guy from the Browns, like 2 weeks in a row I had to play him, scored a touchdown both weeks. Like that's saved me. It's got me to where I am, but I'm not kidding. My team is a house of cards. It is nothing but a magic trick. It is smoke and mirrors, but it's got me here. And now, I don't know, like, let's just take a second, if you want to, Dave, and look at the standings. And we've got 4 teams that are in a lot of trouble simply because we've got 4 teams that are either 0-5, Junior, thank you. Appreciate your contribution to the league. And then 3 teams that are 1-4. Now the odds will tell you that, they've got a chance still. Brian's got a 49% chance to make the playoffs. Brendan's got a 47% because of the points that they've scored. You get to Adam still at 1-4, drops all the way down to 25. But, and I know we got a lot of weeks left to go, these guys got to turn it around quick, or else it's going to be too little too late.
Yeah. I'm thinking, for me, some stats, and I've only had one regular season winning season since we started this podcast.
Whoa.
So I'm thinking there must be something with my preoccupation, because all my commissioner duties, which they're vast and all-encompassing commissioner duties,
So between the commissioner duties and the podcast duties, you don't have any time for actual team duties.
I'm thinking too much about all the teams and not enough about my own team. And I think that's, there probably is no truth to that, but I'm going to go with that because I'm trying to figure out why I've been losing since 2021.
We could just make you the commissioner and give your team to somebody else.
It's true.
Somebody who could pay more attention to it, you know what I mean? Really love it, but you'd still have to do all your commissioner stuff and the podcast. So
yeah, that's true.
So maybe that's not a great option.
So
or you could quit all the other leagues you're in. Plus FanDuel, plus DraftKings, no side betting. Only 3 things you can concentrate on are
what is our entry fee now? 75.
What's that?
Yeah, that's $75. Now that's worth losing and doing all this.
Okay.
I mean, but as you just alluded to, things have been pretty rough for me this season, but I'm still in better shape than some people below just by
Yeah.
happenstance. So they're making it easy to stay in playoff contention. Granted it's super early and a lot can happen, but yeah. So
I mean, to be 2-3 and be in sixth place, you'll take that right now.
I know, no doubt. Possibly my worst weeks are behind me, but I don't know.
Who knew that that scoring or winning 2 times out of the first 5 weeks would put you in such great contention?
Yeah, but I had 3 over 100s.
Yeah. No, the
106 to
points that you've
160.
scored
So
has
that helped. That keeps me. It kept me above Lee, and it kept me above Ratty. For now.
Yeah. So you want to just a quick check-in. I posted it. Now I don't know if I'll be able to find it. So I did in the chat. If you're in the chat, you watch the podcast. If you watch the podcast, you're in the chat. But I did give a little update to where Dave and I are.
Oh yeah, we got a pick for
Yeah, and
I don't know what.
It's not pretty right now.
Because we've done it both ways, and I don't know if you had already made your we didn't ever talk about this, but the first couple weeks I would send you. I sent you first before you sent me through text, but I don't know whether you'd already made your picks or whether you looked at mine first. Then these last 2 weeks you didn't give me a chance. You sent yours either out on the group chat like this week or straight to me before I ever had a chance to think about it.
I didn't want you to think that I was just like making picks that were in response to you. So sometimes you were sending me yours.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll send Dave mine first so it feels better. You know what I mean? I mean, if we were doing this legit,
my point in that was it doesn't seem to have mattered because you're winning by a lot. And the first couple of weeks I went first, you went first. It doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah. So I have a 9-point win. So you went this week. You went
you said 2 and 4
opposite.
Right?
You went opposite me for everybody but Junior.
Yeah.
Because both of us probably buy into the notion that going 0-6 is tougher than going 6-0 maybe. So
and it's not just that, it's just that he's been scoring a ton of points.
Yeah.
It's not like he's got a lot of points and he has a decent, and plus last week he was missing a couple people.
Yeah.
And he still should have beat you. Had a chance to beat you.
So we're gonna run through.
So
we're gonna run through the matchups in a second, but just so we'll get it on air, I picked myself, Flex, Ratty, Ed, Junior, and Brian to win, and then my friend Dave here, he picked. I mean, you can figure it out for yourself. He went opposite for everybody but Junior, but Dave went Brennan against me. Andy against Flex. He's picking Andy, so boat carrying. He picked himself over Ratty. He picked Adam over Ed, and then he picked Junior to win. Both of us did. So that is Junior versus Rennie. Yeah, and Rennie. So I can't figure out what Rennie is upset about. I'll get to that in a second. And then last one is Brian versus Lee. I picked Brian. Dave picked Lee. So we'll go through these matchups in a second. But Junior said, I hope you don't record the podcast. And I was like, he's still sore about the loss, which I get. But I was like, I picked you to win this week, Junior, which is a stamp of approval the last 2 weeks. I mean, if I say you're going to win, you win. I mean,
that's
not
true.
That. Yeah. But, and then Rennie said,
it'll be my only win.
And then Rennie said, you tell him, Junior. And I'm like, well, Rennie, what are you mad about? Rennie was just cheering for me to beat you on Monday Night Football. He was the one celebrating alongside of me, but maybe because I did not pick Rennie to win.
Oh, is he one that holds grudges?
He could be. He could be a little up, but here's the thing, Rennie. You will probably win. I'm not saying you won't, but going 0-6 when you're actually filling out a lineup and trying, that's hard. And I would have picked Junior to win last week had he been playing anybody but me. So I wasn't going to pick him against myself. So that's the tough part. I mean, we'll see. But we'll run through these real quick. We've got Lee versus Brian.
We got quite the matchups this week, right? Overall, we got some good storylines.
Yeah. 1-4 Brian versus 2-3 Lee. This is a get right game for Brian,
Yeah.
and this is a bounce back game for Lee. Lee can go to 500, and with the points that he's got scored, he'll be right there in the thick of things. Brian, if he can get from 1-4 to 2-4 with the amount of points he scored, could get himself out of the basement a little bit, give himself a better chance to make the playoffs. So big matchup, and for Lee to being 2-3 or being 2-4, like that's a big difference. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like to lose there would be, now you're 2 games under 500 as opposed to win and you're at 5, so yeah, big game for those guys. And then we got the battle of best friends. These guys have known each other since they were little, best friends, roommates. Yeah.
I just read his team name.
Yeah. Off while peeping
tanning beds.
Yeah. I don't know what's it mean if you're peeping tanning beds.
I mean, that's probably the most on point team name. Like most of the other ones, it's like
you're saying you
really wouldn't do that, but this is like one of the cases where you probably would.
You visualize that's probably accurate.
Like people have been arrested for such things.
Yes,
I don't know that.
Okay.
Maybe a train station they have been as well. But like popping pills, maybe a nod. I don't know.
Do you think that do you remember the 90s movie that came out? So there was like obviously Basic Instinct, and then she made the next one, Sliver, I think was. Do you think that Rennie has a room like that?
Oh yeah, of course he does. It's at the tanning place.
Yes.
And
no, it would have to be
wired to his apartment too, or his condo, whatever.
I think it's
so he can see all the different sites.
Yes, the condo's got all the All right, Junior versus the Jeffersons,
so
and
this is where the true test of whether Rennie's little devil in training that he smokes cigars with on his balcony, that does things for him just because he's like, his friend, trying to sucker up to him.
So you're saying
if it's going to pay off, because there's no reason
Rennie should have no chance to win this.
I mean, Junior's full strength, Hurts, Bijan, Cook, it's a good team. It should win, right?
Yeah, Diggs is on.
And again, now Rennie's going to be ticked because we don't believe in him, and he's 4-1.
Yeah, I believe in Rennie. His whole team's on bye. I mean, he said it himself.
Yeah.
And going 0-6 is hard. This will be a fun one to watch. We'll see what happens. We got any Thursday night matchups on here? We don't know. Rennie doesn't have a full team yet. Junior's got Hurts going tomorrow night, so we'll know a lot just after that.
Yeah.
So
Giants and.
Yeah. All right. So.
Oh no.
Adam versus Ed, battle of the ex-neighbors.
I don't know what Ed's situation is. Are they still neighbors?
No, they're not neighbors anymore. They're not neighbors anymore. They used to be, but they're not anymore.
All right. Once a neighbor, always a neighbor in my book.
Yeah, they're neighbors. Okay. When I checked before,
but Ed lives like on a plane somewhere or in a moon on the moon.
He doesn't fly anymore. He's like I'm not sure what Ed does, but yeah.
They clipped his wings. We don't know what you do, Ed, because you don't come to the draft and talk to us.
Yeah. All right. When I checked earlier this morning, the only person on his active roster was Matt Gay. Now, the Steelers, Waddle and Harrison Jr. have been ushered back into the fold.
Do you think that he's systematically had conversations?
Yes, I think
with these people, and as he has the conversation, then he activates them.
Yes, he's sitting down and having a talk with each one of them. I kind of imagine it looking like the Cardinals head coach when he walked up to the kid that fumbled at the goal line and like smacking him in the chest. I imagine it going like that. Okay. But so he is, but man, Ed is a juggernaut.
Yeah, and you probably are on the right side of logic. But I went with history.
Yes.
And thinking somehow, some way, he's had the pieces on his, the right pieces, and he's made he's made a flurry of moves all season.
Can I, can I ask you a question? How does Ed have a defense on bye and he's projected to score 105?
This is going to be like the highest projection. Yeah, 105, and he doesn't even have a defense yet.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
I might have
he may or may not need to start
maybe
with.
an extra dollar in the chicken fund today.
Yeah.
It's probably due here.
We'll see.
But hey,
All
I
right.
got faith in Adam to do something to somehow, or one of these guys that Ed's team that normally does awesome is going to falter this week or
All right.
something.
So Dave, who told you that you were a nice guy?
I thought maybe I'd slip that through and nobody would see it.
Is
how
that
you
how
walk
you
up
really
with a
see
group of
yourself?
people and you're like, oh, you try to get into a club with 4 people that you don't know, like, oh yeah, we're all here together, and you walk in. That's me
Yeah.
going in with Ratty, the nice guy club.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought maybe I'd just slip right in there, but it didn't work.
I think his brother-in-law Brennan's a pretty nice guy, and I mean, you're a guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know. I thought it
Yeah.
was. I tried. It didn't work. But
This one could go either way. You both need
You and-
wins.
you and Brennan or me?
No, you and Ratty.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know where we're at here. Yeah, we have like almost exact situations with points and record and some good guys and some bad guys have been playing, and it's just a matter of who we pick and what we do wrong, and yeah, it could go either way. He's got a full team on.
No, he doesn't. Is Josh trying really hard to beat me in the IR category?
Oh no, he doesn't. He's got to replace the kicker. Oh gosh.
He's got
what
four guys.
What happened to him? How do you hurt your kicker?
I don't know, but he's got 4 guys on IR right now.
And he's not. And he's using it for some Carolina receiver. I think it's going to change.
Yeah. Although I don't know
yeah.
which.
Oh no, so he needs a kicker. Okay, and I need a running back. No problem, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. And what do you think?
Why have you not taken Bucky Irving out of your lineup yet?
I'm holding out hope.
Okay.
That he's going to have it, even though everything I've read all week has said that there's no way where that he's going to play,
And you don't have
because I don't have anybody to put in, so
you don't have
I
a
could
running
put a
back
zero
on
with,
your. So
no, I don't.
Hey,
he's on bye.
Is Tolbert about to get asked to turn his playbook in?
It's possible, because my other running back got out for the season, so I had 4, which I thought was a decent number at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about me and Brennan, and then we'll get to the matchup of the week. Okay.
Okay. Before we do that, do you think Chase is back on track with Flacco? Is this gonna be good for the Bengals and Chase and Jamar and
it's
Ratty?
tough because if fourth quarter Browning showed up and what Chase was able to do in the second half, but they're going to put Flacco in there. Will Flacco have enough time to throw the football? That's the biggest question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Micah Parsons is going to be coming.
He's got to catch Jamar in tackles.
But has Flacco ever had this many weapons to throw to in his life?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, Browning's got all those weapons too. He can't seem to find a way to get.
I kind of feel like
Higgins
Detroit
football
didn't really care towards the end there.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think so either. I think it's going to be ugly.
And it's possible Green Bay doesn't care by the third or fourth quarter this week. So yeah. All right, that's it. So we can move to we got you and
me and Brennan. Okay. And I mean, Brennan gets the edge because he's got players that are projected to score higher, which I think almost everybody against me has almost the entire season. So
I mean, it's close.
It's close. I'm without my, I got him back for 2 weeks, which was awesome. Addison's been great in his return, and now he's on bye. So, and then I've got Hubbard back, but then Dowdle played really well. So every single running back situation I have is like a shared backfield, but I'll just continue. They've all got it done. You know what I mean? Like no matter who I put in, like no matter what the projection's been, whatever everybody says, it's like
Well,
it's
and you're
worked.
having the number one and number two wide receiver has been consistent high points for you. Um, is Daniel Jones a top 10, NFL quarterback? He is right now in fantasy
Yeah.
land. Is that gonna, he's doing
Um,
enough for you?
and again, I'll continue to bring this up until I get some respect from ESPN. What does Kincaid have to do to get a projection that's above like 4.8 points?
I think that's just because across the board, tight ends have to like most tight ends have to score to get above that, and it's so touchdown dependent. But yeah, I think he's been getting probably 6 or 7 is probably his floor.
His average is 9.3.
Okay.
His game log is 10.8, 3.7, which I give you. He had a bad week. 12.6, 8.8, 10.8. So like, you know, if you dropped his high and his low, he's right. He's like at 9. You know what I mean? Which is I don't even expect a 9 for a tight
Yeah.
end for a projection,
And
but like
so
a 7.
McBride is ranked 10th, but yet he's projected 7.8.
Yeah.
And maybe that's some matchup kind of stuff, although Indy's got
Well, but
they've been
everything I
playing pretty
read
good.
every week is like that talks about how Kincaid's ceiling is so low that you shouldn't depend on him, that like don't even look at the first 4 weeks, like it's a mirage, like, and I'm like, I'm not talking about the fifth ranked tight end in the
Yeah.
like he's got more points than anybody else in fantasy. Like, so it's just
And
funny.
I don't know if you noticed, but like none of Josh Allen's other pass catchers have stepped up to prove that
No,
they're any better than him.
no, that Shakir, is that his like he's pretty good.
Shakir and Coleman and
Yeah.
and
But like he just spread. I
Palmer, they
think
know.
you mentioned this at the very beginning of the season. I think that his like Buffalo's issue is kind of like Kansas City's issue. They
Yeah,
both just spread the football around so much that they could throw to like 8 different receivers. You know what I mean? They'll throw to every running back that you put out there. So that's part of it. I get it. But it's just funny. I just like every week they
yeah.
put like a 4 something on his thing, and I'm like, well, he's gonna do better than that. So
But I mean, Brennan has a chance to really
he
make
does.
it tough on you with because
Absolutely.
Dak's been doing. I mean, I didn't realize McCaffrey has been doing as good as he has been because he's not. I mean, nobody's really talking about him.
Yeah.
Like maybe because 49ers aren't that great, but he's been consistent, super consistent all season.
Well, and like they've got a quarterback controversy now because Mac Jones put on a show last
Yeah,
week.
yeah. So I mean, he could actually have a McCaffrey of old week and score 30 or something because he's only
Yeah.
scored one touchdown any given week, but he gets 60 or 70 receiving and rushing yards, but he doesn't even have a rushing touchdown yet.
Yeah.
That's going to happen against you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That brings us to our matchup of the week. That's two
Yeah,
undefeated teams. Not very often you get two 5-0 teams that go up against each other. We
yeah.
get Flex and Andy,
The
and
timing just
Andy's
worked out
got a
good.
defense to fill, but man, this should be a fun one. On paper, Flex looks like he has the better lineup. He has the edge over Andy, just overall points and everything. But I think that if we've learned anything is that like this will probably be close. And
Yeah,
you just never know what like Sam Darnold or like any of these guys that he's got, he's Andy is proven to be. I mean, you don't get 5-0 by accident. So
is Lamar already been ruled out? I guess it does say 0, doesn't it?
yeah.
So yeah. And this will be interesting to see if Andy was doing the matchup game with Darnold and he really liked it last week and he's gonna pick
Or
any
yeah, if he
any
picks somebody
number
else up.
because
Yeah.
there's plenty of guys that I mean we
Yeah.
see every week. There's always somebody that scores 30
Mac
that's on the
10.
bench. Yeah, so he could do that. He maybe he doesn't like because Jacksonville of all teams, Jacksonville's like with the number one defense somehow in fantasy football because of
Yeah.
takeaways and touchdowns, I guess. Because I don't know that they're that good, but that might scare him to play him against Jacksonville. So Yeah, he might have some lineup tweaks to do. But what can Josh Jacobs do against the Bengals?
And so there's this thing on Instagram I watch. It's the Fantasy Fellas, and they were like, "Oh, and by the way, any player that's going against the Bengals defense, pick up their running backs, all of them." Like it's
Yeah.
like just
So
a
like
thing.
because Jacobs probably will get, they have a couple other guys that they mix in, but not nearly the way Montgomery and Gibbs are used.
Yeah.
And both Montgomery and Gibbs scored 1 billion points combined against the Bengals. And if Jacobs gets 3/4 of those points, then that's going to sway Andy a little bit. So yeah, I don't want that, as a Bengals fan, but how do you stop him? Plus he's got Dobbs, against the Bengals, so having a wide receiver,
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
mean
think this one should
sometimes
be close. But yeah, six. I mean, is the winner
the
here?
running back wide receiver combo sometimes can be a tough one to get over, but when you're playing against a team that you feel like is going to score a lot of points, then it's like,
Yeah.
well,
So does the winner of this match win the regular season? Is it a done deal?
no, I think it's too early to say. I mean, 6 out of 14 weeks, you know what I mean? I think we get to week 8 or 9 and you probably have a better feel of like, if somebody's going to run away with it. I think this is going to like give a mental edge to whoever wins this, and it's going to obviously, if Travis wins this, he'll have the point advantage and he'll have the win. So that's really feels like 2 games. So it'll be tough for somebody. I'll tell you what, where it'll be is it feels like those two guys, even though like for me and Rennie, we're only 1 game behind them, feels like they're in a different stratosphere.
Yeah. So like especially if you and Rennie both lose, and suddenly there's a 2 game
Yeah.
difference between one of the
Yeah, you
guys,
got when
it's gonna
these
be
guys keep winning, you have to win every week just to keep pace. And
yeah,
then if
yeah,
we drop one and knowing one of these guys is going to win, you know what I mean? Either one of us, me or Rennie, we stand a chance of being 2 games back, and then 2 games back turns into two
yeah.
games plus the point spread. Now all of a sudden you feel like you're 3 games back. So yeah, it. I mean, it feels like the betting favorites would be right now to put your money on
Does
Andy and
Vegas have a line on them?
I don't know
Rennie
if
would
they
know.
do or not, but Rennie could probably do the
Okay.
math.
He probably knows a guy or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
Yep. So
We could wouldn't that be something to like actually have Rennie take the time, put lines on all these, and then
teams to win.
we can make bets. Think about how much you'd be doing pretty well on your picks,
Well, well, I was just gonna say, like picking week to week like we do is one thing, but like so we all draft. You heard it live. You don't get any time to think about it. Everybody puts money on one person's team.
Yeah.
So win the whole
Like
thing.
right after the draft?
Right after yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? You heard it, you
Okay.
digested it, and you're just like, okay, who do I feel I just listened to it, who do I feel the best about? And or you let Rennie have like one day to just like calculate all the odds and just be like, here's how I rank them, so it'd be funny. But yeah, it's been a good time. I can't like
Yeah,
it happens all the time, but like, dude, how did we get to week 6?
I know.
Feels just
Just
like yesterday we were at
flying
the
by.
tavern not eating chicken.
I know. That's gonna be it's gonna go down as one of those drafts of infamy, like
Well,
what might have been.
yeah,
I
it's a
guarantee if
it's
I
a
would have had a piece of chicken in me, I would have picked a wide receiver in the third round.
so we can do that. We can do this here next week or in a couple weeks, but it's about time we start looking. We avoided doing it just because early on we were like, well, all the first round picks are pretty normal. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but we could look at first couple rounds, see how everybody did, because like, and again, you pointed out, I'm selfish. I only think about me. All right. So like I have the number 1 and the number 2 wide receiver. Well, if Josh knew that going into the season, maybe he takes Chase still, because what's Chase? Do you know his ranking right off the top of your head? Is he like top
No, I
5?
don't.
But he's probably close because he scored some points.
He is 12.
12. Okay.
So he's
Well,
top.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's low enough. He probably would. So let's just say he takes
In the first,
takes.
yeah, in the first round, you want to at least be top 5 at your
Let's just say he
position.
takes Puka. Okay. So he's like,
Yeah.
okay, if I knew this ahead of time, we go like when it gets to 8 for me, like that's a whole different ball game. Like my 2 wide receivers are gone before they ever get to me. Like that would just be the reality if we redrafted.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is every year. Like you look at the last year and you're like, you make all these educated decisions and say we pick based on that, but it's going to be 2 other guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got to get ahead of it somehow, like Ed did, and get a
Yep.
top 10 guy that nobody picked.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I mean, but the quarterback position's a great example. I mean, there's guys that Lamar is out.
And I think it every year, and I'm like, you can wait on quarterback. Look at Rennie's team. It can work, and it would have worked for me. I mean, I would have been just the same playing May this whole season. I'd have the same record, I think, if not better. But
Yeah. I mean,
you see
imagine
these shiny toys, these shiny things, but it's definitely worked out for Allen, and it started to work out for Lamar, but this injury is concerning.
no, like
I think it's worked out for Hurts. But
I took a quarterback at 3 or 4. I can't remember when I took Burrow, but one of those
yeah,
2
I
rounds.
mean, yeah, and you've weathered it
stinks.
somehow, but it didn't work out.
No, but when you think about, oh, I could have waited and got
Yeah. So I guess the other school of thought is it's because it's who you didn't get by picking who you did. Obviously, like that's my regret, but you know that you can still, like, I did pick somebody. He's okay and he still has potential. Daniels isn't done for the season. He might have a 35-point game in him at some point here. But if they don't work out at that spot, you know you can get somebody. You have a good chance of finding somebody else.
I think the biggest thing
running
for
back
me
wide
is
receiver,
like,
it makes it tough.
yeah.
Josh
Although
couldn't go out and find a Chase replacement if Chase isn't, doing that good.
no, but I've had to plug in running backs all season, so it hasn't been fun. So
No,
well,
that's tough. That's tough to do.
all right, Dave. Good luck on your
Yeah.
picks this week. You got a chance to pick up some spots. You're down 9,
Yeah.
but anything can happen. It's a long season, so
Yeah.
we could get to the end of this.
We
could get to the end of this, and we could say, "Oh, remember that big lead you had, Kevin?" And then how Dave came back. That could be the story.
It could.
So
we'll see.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see who has the big Monday night miracle this year. Or this week. It was exciting to see both Brian and I needing Monday Night Football to or Travis, right? Was it Travis? I can't remember. There was a lot of Monday night action going on.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I'd kind of given up because I had nobody left and I had no.
Yeah, you were tired. So that was all exciting. It'd be fun to see who it comes down to this week. We mentioned a lot of matchups that we've got, a lot on the line as far as like seeding, and we're starting to settle in a little bit. So good luck this week. We decided to record the first one we did, which was probably a mistake. We probably should trash this one and do it over again. That would have been better. But
I think this is one time in a row that we've done it on the first take.
All right. You guys have a great week. See ya.